So could you give us an update? How many days have you been here? How many Indigenous and allies have been arrested? And have there been any major events here at the camp?
That's
a big question.
It's been a busy week. We are up to just over 30 arrests. Information that we've got is somewhere around 20 more warrants that have been issued that we haven't heard about yet. The events happening around camp. The developer showed up with the OPP liaison people to continue doing work on Mackenzie Road and trying to hook up water and gas here. Yesterday was the court date, and so a lot of pressure leading up to that from the OPP to get us off the site. The judge chose to not allow me to participate in the court proceedings because of my open defiance of his original order. So he has decided to make whatever decision on the permanent injunction based on incomplete information, deciding that on this tract of land here and our ability to stay here is, and basing that on the fact that what he said was that we never came to the table to, never started any process to get the land back here. I think our people from the 1850s till the early 1900s tried our best in petitioning whoever we could to get our land back and get squatters off of our lands. Until the early 1900s, then it was illegal for us to even hire a lawyer to defend us. And so the system itself made it impossible for us to bring anything before the courts anyways for the next 60 years. And then in those 60 years, though, we've seen residential schools, we've seen the 60s scoop, we've seen over-criminalization of Indigenous people, and all of these are well-documented facts that have been before the court and are agreed upon by the court. And to not take any of that into the decision-making is absolutely ridiculous.
I actually have some questions specifically about different parts of the decision. So this is based on a report that I read from the Spectator yesterday, and this is I'm paraphrasing here. The judge appears to have given you an ultimatum in his ruling yesterday to either stay here and forfeit your right to participate in the process, or to abandon this camp and roll the dice. What do you plan to do?
Well, I'm going to be staying here just like it was on the first day. You know, our people have been here for the last 10,000 years, and we plan on being here for 10,000 more. And so in terms of us leaving, we ain't going anywhere. Because if we leave here, that means development rolls on. And so regardless of whether the judge wants to make that decision, the development here needs to be with consultation with our community. And if that consultation doesn't happen, then development can't go on. And if that liability for that is going to hang on me, that liability needs to hang on the Crown, on Haldimand, for not triggering whatever mechanism that isn't even in place to follow the law that they have to follow.
Yeah.
Is that meaningful consultation and accommodation must happen.
Yeah. So if you were to, let's say, vacate, you decided to vacate, do you think you would at any point going forward be given a fair chance before this particular judge?
That's the thing, though, is he said that I'm the leader of this, and so that if I leave, I have to also make everybody else leave too. And so never have once said that I'm a leader here. I'm merely a spokesperson. And so I take all of the things that these amazing people that have come here with me have said and roll that into whatever it is needs to be said to media, to the police, to the courts. And so I'm just one person. I could go home.
Is he scapegoating you, or is
absolutely.
The land? Okay.
Absolutely, he's scapegoating me. And the fact that we have maintained the camp here for the last 84 days today is an amazing feat by anybody's standard. Holding space for 84 days for anybody is a trying thing. And so for all these people to be able to do this amazing work, to make all of this stuff happen, it's beautiful.
Thank you. Harper also claims in his decision that, and I forget what section it is, so I apologize, but I'm quoting him here. No Aboriginal rights have been asserted regarding this space. Is this a fair statement by the judge?
It's a ridiculous statement, an ignorant statement by the judge.
Yeah.
And so for the judge to come out and say something like that negates what I was just saying earlier about, the last, 40 years of oppression and over-incarceration and, but the thing is in the last 10 years, we've seen Truth and Reconciliation Commission come out with their report and their calls to action. We've seen the Ipperwash inquiry and the things that it said around dealing with Aboriginal critical incidents. We've seen the Gladue, the courts and Gladue decision that was made in the Superior Court, in Supreme Court Canada, that has said that whenever the liberties of Indigenous people are in jeopardy, that Gladue must apply. And so for this judge not to take any of that into account, to already have his decision made before the hearing even started, because there's no way that he could go on that 1 hour diatribe about how big an asshole I am and have that already prepared and do that over the lunch break, the 45-minute lunch break that we had, is ridiculous. And so the decision was made to disallow me from participating in that before anything even started.
So
yesterday.
he knew what he was going to say.
In my opinion.
Walking the court.
In my opinion. I don't know. I wasn't in these chambers.
Can't be the operation of his head, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Later in the same ruling that came out Friday, the judge said that you have sought self-help and that you waited years after Foxgate became the title owner of this property and began developing the property. Is the judge misrepresenting history and facts?
Self-help, that the developer using the courts, using injunctions in Canada, allowing that to happen, that's the self-help remedy. Being able to use the violence of the OPP, violence of those court injunctions, needs to be taken into consideration when we talk about what self-help is. Self-help is them deciding that you can beat on and shoot at and taser and do all of the things to Indigenous people that you want, as long as you have the bigger guns. As long as you got the bigger guns, we're going to do whatever we want. And that is the self-help remedy.
Is from your perspective as a First Nations person, even before necessarily what's happened here, but you as an Indigenous person, do you think that justice really belongs to the highest bidder, where maybe a large corporation like Foxgate and the people that back them, is justice more accessible for them than it is for you?
Absolutely it is. And I think all of those things that we've just got done talking about speak to all of that. Because First Nations people across the country have not had a fair shake in whether it be civil, criminal, family, does not matter. And through no fault of our own, this is the systemic problems that have been created by the province and the state since the beginning of it. And so for them to come out to say that self-help remedies and all of that kind of stuff, like this is what they're using in order to push their agenda toward First Nations lands and First Nations rights.
Thank you. I apologize. This one's going to be a long one because I'm going to quote from the decision.
Yeah.
Again from Judge Harper. I'm going to read a section from section 74 of the decision. And I'm interested in hearing your thoughts as to what he said here. Residents and businesses in the Haudenosaunee community are seriously and negatively impacted by the actions of those protesters. People cannot have regular use and enjoyment of their homes with roads and highways blocked. Their health and safety is in jeopardy when lawless activity is allowed to prevail. Is this statement hypocritical considering the history or the historical context of colonialism?
Absolutely, it's hypocritical. And that's the thing, is to corner an entire community into this postage stamp in Southern Ontario and say that you can no longer grow and build and do the things that every other community across the country has been able to do for the last 100 years. And so for them to come out and say something like that is ridiculous to me.
Yeah, I find it ironic that they're talking about how they can't enjoy the use of their home, their space, yet originally whose home and space was this, right? And the fact that I might be wrong, but I heard that the Six Nations community is one of the largest in Canada. Is that correct?
No, that's not correct.
Okay.
It is the largest in North America.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. And considering the amount of space that basically has been shrunk down to what it is now, you see holding space here as being critical to preserve at least as much land
Certainly.
that
and to be
was
able to
entitled to you.
Certainly, and to be able to deter any development, certainly on the doorstep of our community, is crucial for us as a community to be able to grow and thrive like every other community has.
Okay, thank you. And I have one last, two questions. In light of this decision by Judge Harper, do you expect another OPP police raid on this camp if you don't abandon it?
I hope not. I don't know, but I hope not. Because the last thing that the camp needs is more violence here.
Absolutely, yeah.
The only time that this camp has ever seen any kind of violence is the day that the OPP had come here.
What does the next few weeks and few months look like for you here at the camp?
It's building and growing and digging in, making sure that we have everything available to us to get through the winter.
I see that you're building another structure.
Absolutely, we are.
Is that homes for
That's
people?
right.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, that's right. To be able to make sure that we're able to stay here throughout the winter, that we can maintain the occupation here, the peaceful occupation that we have. The developer or the court also talked about gas lines in the ground and stuff like that, and us building homes here flies in the face of the fact that we're going to rupture these gas lines. Everything that we built here, we built on top of the ground. We have not dug a pier or a foundation or anything. We put every building on stilts just for that reason. Mm-hmm. And so the protection of everybody here is of the highest, is paramount for us.
What does the next few months look like for your legal team and your?
And so it's going to be back in the books on Monday, and we're going to start pouring over over his decision, making sure that we understand all of the law around it. And so myself being self-represented, I got my wife and my family behind me to help me do all of that. And so the family here has been amazing. And to be able to build that community and to build the relationships that we have with each other, it's been an amazing trek so far.
All right, thank you.
Right on.
We are done.